Right, so good afternoon. So today I've got Tom Retallick with us today, and Tom looks after our medium works framework, which I think is in its second iteration.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to ask Tom to tell us a little bit about it. So maybe from the beginning, how is it structured, Tom?
Yeah, so the way we've structured it this time around, there's 4 value bands which span between 50k and £10 million. On each of those value bands there's 42 regional areas, and we've reserved spots for core suppliers and reserve suppliers. So there's 8 core and 4 reserve on each lot and area. And we also reserve some places for SMEs within those areas and lots and core and reserve spaces.
Okay, so has that been a change since the last time around then?
Yeah, so last time around it was we'd sort of stopped suppliers from going for all 3 different lots to encourage SMEs, but we found that it works better to reserve spots for SMEs so that they're competing with the bigger contractors as well. It gives a bit of a better mix on the framework.
Ah, that's a good. So that's really pro the government agenda then, really, to try and be as inclusive to SMEs as we can.
Yeah, we've started doing it on the other frameworks. We find it works really well, and having the reserve supplies in there as well gives the client a bit of assurance around sort of numbers and bids and things they're going to get back.
Yeah, I remember when we introduced the reserve idea, it sort of does protect against sort of failure and stuff in the industry, and it creates that additional bit of competition whilst maintaining sort of balance for the suppliers.
Yeah, and I think we're finding it works really well, and probably on every other procurement we're bringing in reserve suppliers, so it's by no means counting them out as well. It's keeping all the suppliers sort of on their toes.
Okay, good. So it's the second iteration. Was the first sort of framework popular? Was it successful?
Yeah, so I think we procured around £500 million through the first framework over 4 years.
Wow.
And for a first iteration, that's really successful. We've upped the limit to £1 billion, so we're hoping that we're going to hit that over the next 4 years.
Yeah, because as I recall seeing the launch of it, because we launched it a few months ago, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, it started out with nearly 80 inquiries on day one almost.
Yeah, it did. It's a very popular framework, and that was reflected by how many bids we had back, sort of the quality of the bids and the pricing. It's all been competitive, and so far we've seen around £80 million worth of inquiries in the first sort of 2 or 3 months.
Wow, that's going to be sort of a very popular framework then. I mean, I suppose it's mapping a little bit against the government sort of investment, really. This idea that smaller works, sort of refit, and I guess stuff that fits into the medium works band is particularly popular because they may be looking at people or clients might be looking at doing a lot of internal work rather than brand new builds. Yeah,
it does seem to be the case, which is why obviously the refit framework's coming up as well. I think that'll be quite successful. And I think with the way the framework's structured, there's a lot of smaller suppliers on there who can use it as a bit of a route to market. And councils do more direct awards than they have done in the past, just given the sort of market circumstances.